Jack.
Yes.
Who's the greatest dragon Pokemon and why is it Dragonite?
It is not
That's what I
Dragonite.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of episode 22 of After 8 Hours, brought to you by...
We got 23 now?
Well, this is part 2.
Part 2, so
we call it
23.
Right.
22.5, 0.75, 0.98. I don't know what you want.
Who's counting?
23?
I count.
Split
Jack's
hairs
kind of counting.
Yeah. I like 23 anyways. It's
Anyway,
whatever.
brought to you by the illustrious Murphy Laws 7.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful hair of his. Jack with his wonderful biracial angel self.
Of course.
And J Titan, the one and the only.
Indeed.
So, where we left off.
Has to hung.
It's like,
Hell yeah.
cool.
Where we left off on the last episode. Well, I kind of interrupted you with the events, but you wanted to talk more about...
Just kind of things that to be brought to the game.
Things to be brought to the game. Alright. So, firstly, naturally, there's always improvements that can be made in Pokemon Go. I think Pokemon Go, I was thinking about this the other day. For what it is, it's still a really well polished game. And as a mobile experience, it's one of the best I've had from a game or whatnot. Naturally, there's a bunch of glitches and the things in game that piss me off more than anything, and there's a lot of things I wish that they would do better. So this is a nice forum to really kind of start that conversation.
Right.
Corey, do you have anything off the top of your head? You're just like, bro, give me more egg space.
Increase shiny rates.
What
do you feel?
I don't have a whole lot of complaints, to be honest.
Well, not necessarily complaints, but wishes.
What could they do? Anything that lets me spend less money, but that doesn't make a lot of sense from a business perspective.
Well,
so.
Well, it all depends. Because I feel like you, me, I think a Skip in particular, who probably drop more than the average person. I think most people typically. I think the max would be $10 maybe a month. I see people spendings. There's a lot of players like Keith who might invest a few dollars, or Joel. Joel's one of the prime ones who he'll just get the gym coins or coins from that one instance you could get coins, and that's it. And then he might, for a special release, maybe drop a few bucks into get incubator space or get storage space. But I feel like a lot of players don't. So in what ways do you think they could provide you coins to help you save money that's within the game itself that you think they could better do? Thinking back to how the game used to be, where you can get dozens of coins for gyms.
I think you should be able to take coins from other people, PvP.
PvP, wager coins.
Awesome.
You beat this trainer, or Rockets should give you coins when you beat them.
That way, it's just a transfer of coins already spent by Niantic, and
I could see that.
They're not handing out any freebies.
I do. I think there should be more opportunities to battle for prizes like coins.
Yes.
One of the rumors for Gen 5 Unova stuff coming out is they're adding a Unova Stone, which gets me about as hard as wet spaghetti, so I'm... People are struggling with Sinnoh Stones already, though they're a lot easier to come by now, for me at least.
Yeah.
Especially if you PvP or just do trainer battles or whatnot.
Honestly, you get them when you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's anything, though. Everyone else, that's my secret. I don't think about anything. Because everyone's like, I need this shiny, I need this. And I'm like, I'll tap on it. It's like, oh, there it is.
How weird.
But, they're going to come out with shit like that. I think you can upgrade the economy system and still make money from a business standpoint. Yeah. And so, again, number one economy in the game is Stardust.
Yes.
I think you should rework that. I think you should rework trade costs.
Would it fucking kill them to make Stardust a little bit easier to come by?
Right, exactly.
Or give items, or extend the time slots of increasing. So, how they gave an hour for the star piece. Thank you. That was really helpful.
Yeah.
I think community days, there should just be and they pretty much made that a staple for some where you get like an extended period of time for lures. They should do that for star pieces and for lucky eggs during that window.
I think they should increase all Stardust that you get from every avenue anyway. Like catches, especially like special catches, hatching stuff, raids, I think you should get more. And because there's more opportunities to spend that Stardust and the opportunities to increase your own Stardust. Even when Corey has 12 million, he's probably spent 8 million.
Or more.
Easy. Or something like that. And especially with the advent of, when PvP started. The reason I dipped below 1 million, felt like a fucking Stardust bum, was because I've always been over like 2 or 3 million or something.
Well, I quit PvP because I was blowing so much fucking dust on dumb shit that I wasn't even using.
Yeah, and that's my point. It's like getting into these tournaments, I'm just like powering up
moves,
shit.
And then 20 Pokemon later, I'd figure out, I'm not going to use any of these. I'm going to use these 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
It's very true.
So
you're preaching the truth, Corey.
And that's not to say be afraid of powering up shit. You should be able to. You should be able to train your Pokemon. But have also other avenues to train your Pokemon. Give me the PokePal, where you get to play with your fucking Pokemon and you might increase something. Or
that was something that one of our buddies had mentioned in another chat, was that they're bringing in friendship and berries and being able to feed your Pokemon. It was something that Anthony
Charles
had mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Where you could basically where you have your PokePal and they'll do better and perform better, and they could add attributes like that to where it makes it better for them overall to just do stuff.
Yeah, and I don't doubt some stuff like that is definitely in the works, but this is an opportunity for us to Niantic, listen. I know you're listening.
Always listening.
You little weaselly fucks. To make your game better.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, going back to the economy thing, that's huge. More Stardust opportunities because we have more Stardust opportunities to spend.
What else, Corey? What else can you think of?
With the coins, real quick.
Yeah.
Again, revamp that fucking gym system. I need it. Indeed. Just inject that shit into my fucking veins.
To me, I think if you're holding a gym longer, it should almost get exponential. To where it helps you more if you're holding down the fort in your area. So people who are living in small towns could get way more coins. So doubles each day, or it goes up a percentage each day. And then if you hold it more than 10 days, you're getting a max of 100 coins.
Or to our point, like we had talked about on a previous episode, have trainers in gyms that you battle and have a leader. Yeah. And once you beat them, you get coins. You can jump in. You can be more active with the gym system, I think. So if you're throwing a defender on a gym, you can you have an opportunity. It can auto battle for you, or you have an opportunity. Hey, someone's challenging you at this gym. Battle that guy.
That'd be cool.
And you
can place a wager.
Yeah, and again, that'd be fun to be able to get coins from other players. So that's a big one. I think that's.
Especially if it copies your kind of battle style.
Yeah.
I think that was something, I forgot who was talking to that about, but if it watches you enough, and I'm sure the game is kind of observing our traits, that because I noticed, because when you guys battle trainers or battle the team bosses, Blanche and all those kids, do they ever use shields with you?
No.
I've actually had my trainer Spark, he used his shield on me
because he's an idiot.
But he still used it. He actually used it on a legitimate reason. And I was
gaining consciousness.
Yeah, and it was kind of refreshing. I was oh shit, because imagine if the Rockets started using their shields.
Yeah.
Because typically I just fucking brutalize them.
I've had a Rocket use a shield on me.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
See, I've never had a Rocket use a shield.
It's learning AI would be so interesting. Because it's a double-edged sword, right? So, when Siri first came out, she was a lot smarter than she is now.
Yeah, they dubbed her
because the way that Siri learns is from how many times people access her to get information. And instead of asking, intelligent questions, most people are Siri, what time is it? Ha, 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 ha. And then, her learning AI capabilities. Just like, yeah, so she's collectively
interaction with humans is just making her dumber.
Yeah. For real though.
She's y'all scrubs. I gotta be a scrub to hang out with you.
It's sad but true. Like, it's similar to like Ultron in Avengers. Like, he goes on the internet for 5 minutes and decides he needs to end humanity. So like,
he's like, this is all stupid.
Yeah. So I would love learning AI in Pokemon. It's like similar to like a lot of racing simulators do it nowadays. They actually track how you race. So when you're offline and people want to battle you online or race you online, you have like the Forza series has these things called drivatars. And they mimic how you would race.
Yeah.
They mimic some of your...
I think something like that for the battles would be awesome to make the gym battling system better and also make people less scrubs because then they get to see, if you're really easy, you're going to be kicked off that gym quick. But if you're a more experienced battler, you're going to probably hold it down better, especially if they mixed in throwing items in there, holding berries to use and all that stuff. Like the games.
Pretty cool.
Like, that'd be legit. Just to kind of go on that note.
Back with the other things I'd like to see PvP related. Again, and I still think they're coming, but status effects. I'd love to see those implemented. Like you just kind of mentioned there, like held items or berries. That would change the game. Like if your Pokemon could heal like in the middle of a battle or whatever.
Put all those gold berries to use.
Yeah. Even with the tapping and the mini game of charge moves, as simplistic as that is, you can make it more interesting. You can give it more depth by having to work around strategies like that. So, I'd like, if they don't feel like changing the system to where it's time based or whatever, like it is in the normal Pokemon games, then that's fine. But give it some more depth, and I think a lot of the things in Pokemon Go, they're like just kind of scratching the surface at it, but like they can definitely go into more detail and depth about it, and I think that would make it a lot better, kind of in every aspect. Because like I said, I was just like playing the other day, like on my lunch break, and like I was just observing the game itself, and I was like, I legitimately got to tap a random fucking Pokemon on the street, and then I'm catching it, and like just like the little polishes and the little things about it, I was like, this is actually like, it's a cool base experience, and it's one of the better ones out there. Because then I've also seen a lot of these like third-party rip-offs of Pokemon Go, and you're like, this is
Harry Potter
horrible. For what it's worth, Harry Potter plays nicely.
Yeah.
It's just whack.
Yeah, same with like Jurassic Park. Like I love the dinos, but it's like, what's the end mission? I haven't got that story, haven't got that feel yet when I played. So
yeah,
and I think that's what they need to do. And Pokemon already has a instilled story with players. That's why they've started the game.
Yeah, and
I'm sure Harry Potter does too. It's just one of those things of like what's keeping them playing the game. Others like the Ingress players definitely have reason and like. What was it that Pat
like an
said?
Actual war.
Yeah, like they treat it like a legit war. Like Pat even said, he's like, if all the Pokemon players in Aurora actually played, we would change the game here in Aurora for Ingress if these players actually joined us in Ingress. And I was like, probably. Like,
I feel like they probably think that.
You'd have like the relentlessness of just like try us, and we're like,
yeah, imagine all the Pogo players in New York or Chicago, like a huge city like that.
Yeah, they just flash mob it.
So, one of the other data mine things that's coming, there's a few of them, but one of them was like a Versus Seeker. Did you hear about that?
No.
Read about that?
Mm-mm.
I don't know how it's going to work or what the idea is. It's like if you just like, you're standing in an area and you just send out a ping, and it's like, Jack 1620 wants to battle, and you don't know where that person is, but if you're in the same area, you can battle.
Ooh.
I'm thinking that's how it would work, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
That might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, like, in our chat, I had, like, a list of things. I don't know if you read it.
I did.
Okay. A lot of it was
because the number one was the fucking music.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
So I have a list of some of my requests.
My demands.
Please, Niantic, listen. So number one for me was raid color coding. So this will let me know if someone has accessed the raid. So they can use whatever spectrum of colors they want, but let you know when there's like one person, 5 people, 10, and then full. because I think that's really big when it comes to like the raid days. If you're out and about, say in Denver's a pretty dense city, but you know there's people in the buildings hopping into raids, so it'd be helpful to know if someone has accessed it that you can also see, oh shit, they have 5 people, I can jump in on this to take it. Because that's been my thing, or knowing when you're trying to organize raid groups, has hopped in a raid.
It's like when somebody goes in the lobby, like the gym should like flash or something.
Yeah, like whoop whoop, like it started.
Yeah.
To let people know, so that way you can, if you're waiting on people, hey, back out or not, and coordinate that. A lot of my requests are in terms of gifting and friends. So one is, instead of when you get to the screen to give a gift, instead of having the back all the way out, you should just be able to swipe left or right to access the next person to just give gifts. You should also be able to organize by people who need a gift from you. That's my biggest annoyance, is having to click through my 200 friends to figure out who the fuck needs a gift.
You can't do it.
It's like, I literally try, like when I'm spending like the bulk of my time in Denver, I just go through and I'm like, alright, I got through the best friends. Let's go through the almost, like, and it gets annoying. The other thing,
I got 2 groups that I can check for. The people that I'm not best friends with, which isn't a whole bunch, and maybe 30 people that I want to do trades with.
Yeah. That
are best friends.
Yeah, so my sorting is usually to best friend, and then the people who are like lowest on the friend totem pole to get them up. Yeah, so and that's it.
I give my best friends a nickname. I sort them up, and that's what I go through.
Nice. The other thing was searching by friend level, so you should be able to search by best, great, good. I think 1 day would be a nice option to know who you're 1 day from turning a friendship level to, so that way you could find your best friends, because I've definitely been guilty of clicking someone thinking I had 1 day left with them, and it actually was that day, and then we become a best friend, and I didn't have a lucky egg, they didn't have a lucky egg, and we missed that opportunity.
Sucks to suck.
It does suck to suck. The other thing is notify a lucky friend. I think you should be able to message a lucky friend in game to be able to coordinate with each other of a lucky trade.
Yeah, because like until we get misconnections up on Aurora Masters Discord,
misconnections is gonna be a real thing.
Yeah, that cute girl from Wash Park.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Anyway, if we need a misconnections
like, hey, you're that cute trainer over here. We were talking about this at the table. If you want
fair
to
skin,
together,
beautiful brown hair. You talked to me for 3 seconds. We had a real connection.
I felt it.
No, but really,
could be friends.
How many times do you see on the fucking Aurora Masters or whatever? Like, does anyone know who this trainer is? I need to get in touch with this trainer. Yeah. And they're not on Discord, so you can't ping them from there.
And if they are in Discord, their names aren't associated with their trainer name.
Yeah, so have an in-game option to do that.
I think you should be able to. You can notify them once a day, so that way it eliminates them being spammed.
Damn it.
Because that's one thing I don't want, is just like really trolling people. Like, hey, we have a trade. I'm like, no.
That's why you can't give that button to Joel. It's okay, though.
You know, they have the mechanisms in place for that. Because you get annoyed with somebody, delete them, and then if you really want to get that trade done with them, add them again.
Yeah. Well, no, I know for that, but I mean just like in terms of just contacting the person. I think they should be able to send a message.
But I'm saying, like, if you can contact them, but if it becomes excessive, then the mechanisms are in place for the person to deal with it.
Yeah. And that could maybe even be like it sends them an email notice. Like they can set the option that as a receiving user, like, do you want an email if you get a lucky friend?
Do you want to report this asshole so Niantic can look at this?
Yes, they should have those options, because I think with any introduction to more connection, there's going to be also the need to report failures to connect, which is people being trolling, people being assholes. So that's a kind of a two-way street.
Dick pics.
The other stuff is a special trade timer. So I think there should be like a little clock to let you know, hey, you did your special trade. You have X amount of hours for your next one. Because I usually forget if I do a trade, or you might have some adults whose kids play on their accounts, and then they do a trade and they don't realize it until later, and they're like, ah.
Is it a 24-hour thing, or is it just reset after midnight?
I think it's I thought it was like a 24-hour thing.
Trading?
Yeah, like special trade.
Sets at midnight.
Okay.
So, but again, if you're like a frequent flyer or whatever, if you're not keeping tabs on that, or again, your kids hop onto your game and trade and you don't realize it, that it tells you right there, like, your special trader's already done for today.
And my kid's getting a chancla in the fucking face.
Right? Fuck that kid. The other thing is the received gifts. So what they did for like the event where they upped it to like 30.
Yeah, that just needs to be permanent.
It just needs to be a permanent thing. Increasing the egg roster or to where you can have more should be a permanent thing. Increasing your friend count, because why not? I think a battling be right back message would be awesome, because there's lots of people who might send kind of battle requests out, and if I'm in a meeting, I don't have my game open, it's sitting like it's probably
just sitting
closed.
There waiting for you to pick your team.
Yeah, like that would suck. And to me, if I could be like, hey, I'm gonna be able to battle between 5 to 7, hit me up then when I have my game on, that's when people could send me a message. I think it would be pretty nice.
A lot of these sound like, to me, in-app communication channels, would be really nice. Like, naturally, Discord's a great resource, especially, but I mean, everyone has to be part of it and pseudo-active at least to be privy to what's going on and everything like that. But some kind of in-app coordination, especially when the idea is to socialize and be social with friends that, we made friends from Chicago that live in St. Louis or whatever, and they always send me gifts and everything. But I don't know what, like Discord, I didn't get their phone number. No. I can't actually talk to them other than enjoy my gift from Starbucks Denver, or something like that. It's pretty silly in that sense. I would love, maybe not like a chat feature, but at least some sort of communication.
And it could be simplistic. It could have a limited number of characters, like for the in-game be right back battle message, just be like, message me between, and then you set a time of like 7, and it just scrolls you through digits. So you just set a time frame, and then you leave it at that.
Yeah, I know the biggest issue with that though is naturally because it's a kid's game, quote unquote, and being able to like.
Well, they already have.
Don't pretend like you're doing something about it, though. Like, any kid can get on their phone and
say you're the adult.
Yeah,
and they already have the restrictions on the kid accounts already, so I don't think that would.
If any kid has a device to play Pokemon Go, then they have access to other shit.
Yeah, like 100%.
And I'm pretty sure I've had some kids send me some, and it's from a trainer, and I'm like, I'll battle you, fuck it, and I like either they'll kill me, I kill them, and I'm like, cool, back to my day. Like, I'll go back to watching my show. The other thing, and one of the biggest things, is the whole game noise control. And I fucking hate the music when it bumps it when I slog out and I forget or whatever, and I turn it on. And then it's like screaming because I'm just like, fuck! So really it allows me just to set a base level to say I can completely mute you. And then if I sign into an account or I give someone my phone so they can sign in for something.
Yeah, awkward. I'll be walking around, I'll be in a meeting or something, I'll flip my game on, and then the music starts blasting. I'm like, what the fuck? I just had it.
Yeah, and so that's what sucks, and I wish they had that.
And you can't fix it until you're in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So until you log in, if your phone happens to turn on, it's bumping.
I wonder if that's some stupid fucking Pokemon Company rule that they have with Niantic to say, we want this to default back to the original setting.
Hopefully not, because that's just
because
silly.
We want this music out there.
No, I think it's just a programming thing.
I think it should honestly be lowered.
Like every other setting, it stays.
Yeah, it's just the music.
Sound.
The music just blares. The other thing that, like Anthony had mentioned, was having where they can give you something special on your birthday. Since they already asked you your age and all that anyways, there should be some sort of link thing to where they could give you like a mystery box, which could be anything from an incubator to a raid pass.
I think I pick a new birthday every time I log in. It's always January 1st. I just swipe, pick a year.
That's true.
If you want.
You can fuck that up every time.
You could, but then that also increases
what?
It lessens your odds of getting it, because if you change your birthday every day, it's going to change its day too.
Yeah.
So it's just like the lottery. So it'd be
delete
shifting.
the app every day. And
that seems excessive, but you do you, boo.
Every day's my birthday.
It's my birthday. But yeah. So that was some. The other thing, of course, like for like the seasonal stuff, like we talked about, like they have many opportunities to make more money outside of the game, but still related to the game clothing.
Wait, does Niantic want to make money?
I'm pretty sure if they're a company, that money should be a factor to some degree.
We learned really quickly between Disney and Sony that money is definitely the most important thing on the planet.
So, and with that...
Another news.
Yeah, it was like... that was some of my requests for just, like, again, more focus on that for gifting and friends. Battling, again, would be, like, obviously change it to, like you said, like, status effects and so forth. I think it'd be cool for them to mix up more of their kind of prize boxes. I always like watch them like have one for the more active raiders, have some for the more active hatching folks.
Oh, for what you redeem your coins on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they can have more variety because we've already talked about what interests people in this game, and there's a lot more interest, and I think the boxes are severely stunted in that. Because there's a lot of boxes that give you extra star pieces or extra...
Oh, the lures, dude?
Lures that no one uses.
Like 100+ lures.
Yeah,
I just started throwing
like,
them away even though I spent money on them, technically.
Right, and that's what sucks is I'm... Like, there's items that I don't want to throw away, but I don't use, so what's the point of holding them?
Yeah, like I'll lure up random stops downtown.
Just
because I have so many.
Away. Turning up their effectiveness of those, even extending their lifespans would be great. Because 30 minutes is cute, but like that can go by pretty quick, especially if you go to catch every Pokemon, you can maybe get like 10. Because then you have to go through. People don't know like the speed catching tricks, and you have to like look at the Pokedex and you close out. You catch your next one, it opens up. You have to go make sure you catch that one. So people don't know the speed catching tricks. You lose a lot of time not doing the tricks and just jump to the next Pokemon to go.
I also think, this sounds really weird and I don't know how they'd control it, but I think there should be like a guaranteed rare every time you pop a incense or lure.
Yeah.
In that 30-minute window?
The way they guaranteed is making sure that the rare has a longevity of 30 minutes or 15 minutes at least.
Those are the biggest waste of money right there. Mm-hmm. Most useless item.
Yeah.
You get like 8 spawns.
Well, 3
of them will be Rattata.
I think now we have raspberries and nab berries. No one fucking uses those berries anymore. Like, they come useful when that's a mission of like, you need to razz 10 Pokemon, but I just throw those items away now. Yeah. If those became like our status effect berries, like they cure something, awesome. Give them a use again. And make the use for a lure better, because those are just kind of there. Incense, they're just like, And then even with the specialty ones, the mossy ones or whatever, they're cool. I like that you can evolve in the windows, but add more Pokemon variety into them. I think now we're just kind of like, okay, you get your typical like Magnemite, your Alolan Diglett, and your Onix.
I don't get why they're not just like fucking spitting out Pokemon everywhere for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should up it for like a whole area, like a whole quadrant.
Or if you do know the fast trick and you do know the catch, like as soon as the Pokemon you caught disappears, another one pops up.
Yeah. They should be able to knock it out just to always make sure there's always like 10 Pokemon on the screen. So that way you can jump between them and see.
And that would just increase the usefulness of a useless item, like, for real.
There's no way these guys play this game.
No
way. They got a couple guys reading articles on Reddit and saying, this might be a good idea.
Yeah.
That's it. Flood Reddit.
Yeah. Do it, Corey. But, yeah.
Listen to this podcast.
Listen to us. Like, we'll tell you all the cool things you need to do to help this game. The other thing, again, would be adding new moves to the Pokemon roster, because obviously Psystrike is not a move from any of the Pokemon games at all. That seems more like a Smash Brothers move.
Psystrike?
Yeah, Psystrike.
Pretty sure that is a actual Pokemon.
Are you sure?
Move.
Positive? Let's check.
Pretty sure.
I now need to see.
You know why I know?
Why?
Because it's from Gen 5.
Is it? Yeah. You son of a bitch. Damn you, Gen 5. But,
does Klinklunk know it?
But I think...
It's actually a Mewtwo exclusive move.
Is it? Then bring an Aeroblast, damn it.
Nope.
Come on, Lugia.
That move was badass in the game.
Aeroblast
it really was.
amazing.
It sounded cool.
Yeah.
Your screen flicker gave you epilepsy. You know, you're like...
It was a much cooler Hyper Beam. Like, it was... They should bring in a lot of those things. But again, them finding the perfect union between the Game Boy game and this game, they have all those options. They just need to start choosing more. Like... They should be bored. I'm bored of Frenzy Plant. I'm bored of Hydro Cannon and what was it, Blast Burn?
Yeah.
For the starters, because it's
Surprise.
all the same.
Same shit.
Yeah, give them a cooler move. Blaziken should have had fucking Sky Uppercut. Like, their signature moves for some of those Pokemon, they're just like turning a blind eye to it.
I liked what they did with Gardevoir. That's the one time.
Synchronize
and the Charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they should do that to give them another fast move and a charge move.
Mm-hmm.
Give you some more flair and variety. Because right now, they're just recycling the same moves with new Pokemon.
Bro, it's not even... Turtwig or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Torterra should have Frenzy Plant, because I believe that was the first time you get introduced to it or whatever. But, like, using the same move for every starter just, like, really chaps my ass, man. Like...
I wish they did TMs.
TMs, like
I used to love, like, giving my
legitimately?
Gyarados, Flamethrower and Thunderbolt and Ice Beam and
They
just
should.
being all kinds of...
TMs would be a fun
different
add to
crazy
this.
like
moves
actual
on it.
TMs instead of, like, the RNG TMs.
Yeah, and like they
That way
could
it
be
can keep
exactly
its
like the items.
3 core, so we're not blowing through a million TMs so we can get that Thunderbolt on the Gyarados or whatever it is.
Yeah, it'd be like
just-
a guaranteed
just add
thing,
it.
but
Yeah.
it would again that would be like a separate baggie to add on. So
Oh,
you have
no,
like
we
a
did talk
TM
about
bag.
that briefly, because we talked about, again, gym leaders on
Yeah.
gyms or something, or certain trainers on gyms.
Yeah.
That could be a prize, like, oh, you beat...
You beat Brock, you're gonna get Rock Slide if you want, or Earth Power. And you get the TM, you can use it on X number of people, but now Earth Power will show up as a random item just like a Sunstone. Or something like that. So you get an X, or have it be like an incubator. You get 3 uses and then it's done.
Or, well, that works too. Totally agree. Another addition I'd like to see is like an item shop. Or a way to trade in items.
Yes, or sell items for coins.
Maybe for coins. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
But
That'd be
even
sweet.
like, trade them in for Stardust.
Well, they should have more
Some kind of
valuable items too. Like bring nuggets into the game.
Nugs!
Because if you found a nugget
Find
or
a nugget and it
Pokemon
gives you 100 coins or something.
or
like
5,000 coins,
that. Yeah, that'll never happen.
that's just my.
5,000 coins?
I would just like cry. Like yes.
You'll get a nugget once every year, maybe, if that.
They can't even spit out more than 8 Pokemon for an incense. They're not giving out.
I know.
5K coins?
That's just wishful thinking.
That's why I said
Come on,
100.
Niantic, listen.
I'm going realistic.
100 is reasonable.
Okay.
On the lowest end possible. But I think a nugget would be cool, like a star, finding star pieces in the wild or whatever. Finding some of these items just out and about would be great. If Pokemon could drop items like they do in the games, that'd be also sweet. So like Abra specifically could drop like a TM, or like Snorlax could drop the TM leftovers or something like that. Like, if you find these Pokemon, there's a potential of that. That'd be really sweet. And then for community days, they could even add on, Pokemon will be dropping extra incense and lures for you that you're catching, but they'll be used at this time. Or they'll drop extra incubators for you to beef this up. Something like that would be really cool to see out there. Or Chanties will drop max potions and like max revives or full restores or whatever once status effects come into play. Like, there's lots of opportunity there. And I think dropping items, holding items will just be kind of the next step. I'm still waiting for them to let you breed your Pokemon. But I feel that'll be like a year or so out. To be able to breed, and then also with it being a kids game, I don't know if parents want to have to explain the birds and the bees to kids.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
For breeding?
For breeding.
I mean, they have...
Even though it's the kids in the game already for kids, I feel like more adults are like, now I have the pressure to explain it because now my kid sees it.
Yeah, what's Jinx doing with slacking?
Yeah, what's that about?
That's my game.
Is he slapping? Like, no one knows. Like,
Could be funny.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see breeding in it, but... Because I'd want it, because then you could breed them to get special moves or something like that. But I also just want there to be a time where they just open up the move pool even more, so we're not just so limited to just 3.
Well, what would you suggest? So if you're going to change the game in order to accommodate more than 1 fast move and 2 charge moves, what would you do?
TMs.
Well, no, outside
leave
of
those core
mechanically.
Oh.
I think it'd have to involve where you're tapping on your screen.
Like gestures or whatnot?
Yeah, I think honestly if they move it up, very similar to like the old game, but kind of put it in to utilize the bottom part of your screen to make it like more than just like 1 finger, you can maybe use 2. To where you like will double tap or a certain tap combo, so you could set your own combo of release this fast move 1, fast move 2, charge move 1, charge move 2. I think that'd be nicer, as opposed to just like, because I like how they have you do like the kind of sliding or almost like glyph writing stuff.
It's much better now.
Yeah.
Than it was before.
At first I was confused. I was like, why the fuck did they do this? Now I appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Because then you get used to the format. And then watching players, like, watching Fresh at the last tournament, probably like the smoothest operator when it comes to shooting off a charge move. Because you're not sure, because he's not like aggressively doing it. He's just like gentle about it. So you can't read his moves, because that was a concern, was you could watch your hand gestures and know exactly which charge move they're going to throw.
Yeah.
And then they can know either to throw a shield or not.
Mm-hmm.
But watching Fresh, he's just like, just kind of barely moving his finger, and you're like, but you see him get an excellent on the screen, and you're like, oh shit, like he's still doing it, but you don't know which one he's throwing. So I like that, but I think they should give you the option to have the additional move and then just open up the pool more to like whatever. And I think it should go by your level as a trainer to open up how many moves you can get, to me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense for a level 1 player to have all the moves. They should just have your basic Ember, basic Bite, but then as you get to level 40, you can get Crunch. You can get those as your fast move instead, and some of your charge moves will shift to your fast moves, and then you get even stronger moves going forward. Is my take on it.
Reward the players that play more.
Yeah, because the higher level players should be able to access things like Hyper Beam should be a faster 2 charger instead of just a 1 charge beam. In my opinion, it should still do.
Right now,
I don't mind. I honestly don't mind that.
The guy that's level 35 can beat up on anybody if he has a lower IV Pokemon. Like a weaker player with a weaker Pokemon can beat a better player with a better Pokemon.
Yeah.
Higher level, higher Pokemon. I don't know. I think something like that is fundamentally wrong.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there should be better incentives for having, like players that play longer. Getting to level 40 is still a slog even today. There's a lot more opportunities to get a lot more experience, and they do a lot of events, and you can do a lot of things to get to 40 a lot quicker than you could the first year. But still, it takes a while to get to level 40 versus 1 to 30. You can do that almost in a day, it feels like, anymore.
Yeah.
So I think 30 is like a hard threshold. Like, once you hit 30, that's when I think those types of changes definitely should take effect. When it comes to the Hyper Beam thing, no, I think it should still be a big 1 charge move, because the idea is you have to really think about, do I want to use all that energy for Hyper Beam versus do I want to use it for the charge move that has 2 charges? And again, that comes into like depth of strategy more than it does into like mechanics of the game. So like, I could definitely see that though. I would like to see again more depth, and I would love to see more. Again, celebrating your higher level or the players that play the most. Because I mean, like, and that's not saying there's anything wrong with being a filthy casual or whatever, but like,
realistically, I mean,
yeah. Well, that. But then the other thing that they should add is more emphasis from the teams. They had us initially battling for our kind of rights and our territories when the game first started.
Yeah.
Then they brought in rating, which said we all need to be team players again.
Yeah.
But then every Go Fest, every Safari event, they're like global challenge. Trainers, you need to do this as your respective teams. You need to accomplish this. They need to somehow give better perks to individual teams for that.
I can see that. Yeah, because having team choice now doesn't matter unless you're Mystic, and then you're just a degenerate. But like,
I agree. I concur.
Even Corey agrees.
Yeah,
he was Mystic for so long.
I'm going back.
You going back?
I'm going back.
Okay.
Aren't you gonna go Valor then go back to Mystic?
Yeah, maybe.
No, because he'll never leave Valor. That's the problem.
I want a purple team.
Hell yeah! I want more teams. Fuck the 3 teams.
I want tribes.
Tribes.
Yeah, I want to go back private. Just get tribes.
I think it'd be fun. Like,
you start your own tribe and you petition others to join you. And
you know how like they introduce the new generations, which is the Cult of Murph. I'm totally in the Murph. I'm a Murph diver.
Shut the fuck up. You are fucking stupid.
I'm in the Cult of Murph, dude. Anyway, they like it's funny because they introduced the different generations and regions via Pokedex. Like, why can't you have a team from a region? Like, oh, I'm a Unova trainer. I'm from Gen 5. I have
you
trash
should
Pokemon.
Be able to. I think you should be able to make your own house, your own tribe, whatever.
Dude, okay, so what if they did that? Like, you selected a region as opposed to just a team, and that way when you get to start with your starter Pokemon, you can start with Chimchar. Because you're an idiot. Or
you don't love yourself.
For real. Or you can start like, I chose Alola as my region, so I get to start with Rowlet, or, I mean, that can't happen until they finally release the gens. But, like, that could be an interesting way. I think there should be more weight in the few choices you get to make in the game. So, like, when it comes to the teams, remember when they first came out and we thought there was, like, the rumors about the teams, like, if your Instinct hatches will matter more, and if you're Valor, you'll find stronger Pokemon in the wild, and if you're Mystic, your evolutions will be better.
Yeah.
Those are, like, big rumors before the game, right when the game first came out, and, like, naturally nothing ever came from that, but I thought that actually kind of...
I still think it's true. I still get really good hatches.
But I still get good hatches.
Not all the time, though.
I don't get bad hatches. Like, I get some good fucking hatches. But either way, like, it just, like, I don't think the team really doesn't matter. I mean, you can have a dabbing buffoon as your team leader and
the man, the myth, the legend. Shut the fuck up.
The nothing. Dude, he's trash.
Okay, you can have the bookworm. Or you can have the really hot one.
Blanche is whack, dude. It's all about Candela. I don't give a shit. She's fine. She's perfectly capable.
Perfectly capable.
She's the best leader. If there was going to be a leader amongst the 3, she would be the leader of the leaders.
Her kids are all scrubs, though. Like, look at them.
Can't look at them.
Yeah, you can if you're a better leader.
Better what? No, Spark doesn't even lead. He hopes that you guys pull up the slack because he's garbage. It's fun.
And we do. We always keep up our end.
Because without that, there's nothing.
We trust our gut, man. That's all we got.
But anyway, no. But for real though, I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be another wrinkle, nice little. My biggest thing, and I've been saying it over and over again recently or today, is depth. On the surface, a lot of these things are kind of neat, and you can dive into them more and more. Niantic should play their own game and learn there are things that could be worked on.
I would love to see some of the other Niantic people like come to an actual day instead of like. I feel a lot of the events like when we were in Chicago was mostly run by volunteers.
Those are all volunteers.
And to me, I'm like, you guys need to see the fruits of your labor and see what's working, what's not. Does it make sense to invest in having a shop that's off to the corner that people are going to but not enjoying the game? Does it make sense to focus on having the team tents that don't have any like major spawns nearby or special things for people who are there playing? Was it beneficial to have the charging towers everywhere? Fuck yeah, that was amazing. Good job at having charging towers everywhere. Like, that was a good choice. Does it make sense to have the food trucks in the locations over? Yeah. Excellent choice. Good use of local resources. There's pros and cons of going to these events and seeing how they're hosted. And that's why, like, I like that they do their trials. I just wish, like, the turnaround for some of them would be better for what they're learning. Like, the one thing that I still want them to do that we talked about from the Go Fest was having a global Go Fest event, but you have to buy your ticket just like you would a regular Go Fest.
Dude,
and they unlock it for you.
I think that'd be insane.
Like, I think that was one of the best Pokemon events of this year.
That was completely makeup for Go Fest, yeah.
Yeah, completely unintentional, but I think it was one of their best events because we were able to play in our city, but have all these awesome Pokemon show up and catch as many as we could. That was perfect.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And to me, like, and again, it wasn't like, I don't think that was one of their set contingency plans, because obviously we were very fortunate that they did it for us, and there are some people who were giving a shit for it. I'm like, I don't make the call, Niantic does. Because there was Friday, they were inconvenienced their 30 minutes because something happened with the server. Should they have got an extra time? I don't know.
3-hour window?
Yeah, like they could have got a 3-hour window potentially. Like, I don't know how the scale of shenanigans that Niantic chooses to execute what as a consolation prize. But
I think it's absurd how they do that. Just in general.
Because
people
get to make their
traveling.
own rule.
Well, no, just those events where people travel from all across the world to come to this spot where they have an 8-hour or 10-hour window to play, and they close it down for whatever reasons, and that's it. Like, why not just... I feel like they're so stingy with their spawns. Not necessarily... In addition to their money. You know, just open up spawn... If you're going to host an event in Chicago, open up spawns for the whole fucking weekend and let people play on their own time.
So you're saying if you had a Go Fest ticket, not just a specific day,
yeah,
just go, like, you're there for the weekend, play the whole weekend?
Maybe put something extra cool in that park just to spice it up a little bit.
Specifically in the park.
Yeah, because, like,
keep
the habitats, but open up the
when
spawns.
the event's over, let people go play wherever the hell they want in the city that they just traveled, 15,000 miles to go to.
And don't know anything about and want to explore. Because a city like Chicago, it's a fun city.
It's big.
There's a lot of shit around there, and there's a lot of shit to explore and understand. But you feel pressured because you're like, I only have my window here to play Pokemon, and that's what I paid for, that's what I'm here for. Not, hey, this is Pokemon Go, I went, and the idea behind Pokemon Go is to get you to explore your surroundings and be social and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I think that would feed into it, but I do agree it is kind of ridiculous, the setup, if you like zoom out and think about it that way.
Yeah, and in terms of the social aspect, when you're hunting during the 8 hours, you're not going to do that. That's where having the social time, the PvP, the trades, and all that, like their trading area, I thought was excellent. To me, they should have focused on saying, do your trades after this hour window, like have like an after hour session for trades, for battling and all that outside or before the start windows. So that way, if you want to get there first thing in the morning, you're like, hey, trades are, this tent is, or these stations are open from 9 to 11 and then from 7 to 9. And we'll be here, we'll help facilitate stuff. That's when you do this, but we want you to utilize that 8-hour window while you're here to hunt. And I think that would make it a lot better. Like, it might take more volunteer work, but I think people would appreciate it better. Because there's a couple trades I had set up, and then I was like, I'll see you! And I just never saw them again. I never got my unknown V, for example.
That shit was wild, though, like, towards the end. So, I think we told you about that, Corey, but every, like, space that anyone that had a microphone, or, like, the big megaphone, they're, like, facilitating trades between people, and that was actually really kind of fun and interesting just to watch people's requests
Yeah.
Oh, I need the Lake Trio, the Lake Spirits or whatever, and the only thing I have to offer is my shiny Grimer, or something like that.
Yeah. And you're just like, wah. Like, what the hell?
The other worst part is like, this harkens back to trade prices need to be changed immediately, but like, because the idea is like these people are trying to trade like legendaries that they've never had before, and you don't know these people, you just met.
Fucking Stardust.
So like,
it was reduced. It was like
it was half, but
so
still
500.
Still 500K.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, at GoFest, if they're going to try to facilitate that kind of trading thing happening at your event, have a special window like, okay, this trade's only going to cost 10,000.
Yeah, give them best friend privileges.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be so fucking stingy with their dust. I get it for the million trades. Like, I get it to a certain extent, but if you're at one of those events,
make it,
come on now.
These people paid a lot of money to be here.
Yeah, like everyone who was at the event should have got like a GoFest exception, to where it will recognize that you are a GoFest pass holder.
Well, they're
a GoFest pass holder, and then they're like, all right, here's the trade you get for these special costs for this window, and afterward.
And it's not hard to do because, like, for instance, the makeup event, they knew you were a GoFest pass holder for Saturday specifically because that was the ticketed event that was in your app.
Exactly.
So, like, they can read that information clearly so they can fix it.
Yeah.
They can do stuff with that.
They've shown they have the ability to.
Have the power.
We've seen it firsthand.
So, I would love to see that. That's just like...
Niantic, you suck sometimes.
But then at the same time, like, you have a fuck ton of room to grow. Please don't limit yourself like this. It doesn't make any sense.
This message brought to you by the Murphdivers.
He's going to start that. He's going to just...
What was it? The House of Murph? Is that was...
House of Murph.
Is
the Cult of Murph?
The Cult of Murph.
There you go. Cult is better.
Okay, the Cult of Murph.
I honestly do think we should be able to start our own tribes. I think it'd be sweet.
That way Herb can finally be Team Rocket.
Dude, I would love to see...
Or his own version of Team Rocket.
Team Rocket. Have his own emblem.
That would be kind of fun.
And you could join, you could have a max of like 3 houses, and it's just like little slashes on like your jacket you could add, or on your trainer thing you could add. So you could still be Team Instinct, Team Valor, Team Mystic, but then you have 3 other associations.
He's Team Instinct and he's Team Valor, but they're both part of the Cult of Murph.
Yeah, like it makes you unique. It'll be a good identifier, so you can have like your home team, then you can have like a work team, you can have whatever, and be a part of all these things.
Just another
adds
layer,
another dimension of the game,
which is depth.
Yeah, but then also it's that whole like people aspect.
Lots of girth.
Girthy. The girth.
So girthy.
Then you can have like the Mandingos just out there, just be like Rayquaza, so you have that black one, you're like, oh, that's a Mandingo.
Oh, that's
I see him. Like, you can have all sorts of stuff, and then people are like, what does that mean? Like, don't worry about it. But
was your Mandingo extra large and size?
I think he was.
That's perfect. I love it.
But it's one of those things I think would be really fucking fun, and then it gets more people involved because you want to be part of other teams.
Well, and it harkens back to like when we first started and teams kind of mattered. Like, people had super pride about their team.
Mad pride.
Like, oh, you're Instinct, you know.
Shut about to flip his table like he's son of a bitch.
Or, you know, Valor Scrubs or Mystic Degens. It is what it is, man.
Degens.
I mean, like,
yeah, like I'd honestly like maybe that's something we could just do.
I mean, you could do it locally, but I'd love to see it
on a local level. Yeah, like when we went to GoFest, I saw like some of the like what was it? It's like Magic City Mystics.
Oh yeah,
or something like that. And they had their jerseys.
They all had clown masks because they're clowns.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
But
the idea
behind the principle.
Dude, Jack was losing his shit because they had jerseys. He was like, "Man, dude, I want a fucking jersey."
It looks sweet. Like I give him that. Like I like the team spirit that they had, though they chose a wrong team.
What's your Instinct team?
I don't know.
What's your team?
I have to think about it.
You have 10 seconds to think about it.
No, that is too short.
We already have the call to Murph. That's hard to beat.
Call to Murph?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that's
I would proudly make a Murphdiver shirt.
I know you would. Corey's like all about it. He's like thinking about it now. It'd be like you two like descending, and it'd just be like Murphdivers.
It's like a little crowd that's like, oh, it's just like you two descending down.
It's just an upside down
Hell
mushroom.
yeah,
That's all it is. Corey's like, yes.
I need to make this.
Yes.
I'll even make a Murphdiver badge.
That's the other thing. Going into the badges, I think there should be areas for like the teams to be able to create their own badges for things. Like we talked about Aurora Masters gym leaders and having unique badges for us. I think there should be more opportunities for other badges from local, regional, and state levels.
So
that should be accessible.
In the last part/episode, I mentioned I went to that Halo convention.
Yes.
And they had this really neat thing. So outside of all the cool things that they brought, they had an app specifically for the convention.
Okay.
And it was like this weird way to get your own achievements, it'd be similar to the badges in Pokemon Go. But, like, you go through and, like, there's a whole bunch of different shit you could scan. So there's, like, these scannables. Every time you scan something, you got, like, a special AR version of it. So, like, a 3D thing popped up on your screen. You could, like, go around it and look at it and learn more about these things. And then, outside of that, you got experience points. And so you raise your rank. So you start out as a private, and I got all the way up to Sergeant Major. I got up to Warrant Officer, which is the highest rank you could be in that app. And so, like, that was cool, but along the way, you also got special dog tags, which works kind of like badges. So, like, if you had so much experience, you got a dog tag. If you finished this event, like the VR thing I mentioned, you got a dog tag after that because you finished combat training. But if you got a certain point threshold at the VR event, you also got something else special from that. And so, like, there was all these, like, different rewards and tiers and things you could do with that. So I agree, that'd be really fun, like, in-app, like, create your own badge. Do something like community, like really enforce community aspects in Pokemon Go. Yeah. Like, yes, there's the overall Pokemon Go community, and then under that there's the overall teams, and then, you can do whichever way, you can do mix and match all that other stuff, but, like, give me a reason to have rivals again, because rivals are one of the most interesting aspects of Pokemon in general. So, like
I think back to the Instinct chat that I'm in, that I'm not really the most active in anymore. It's been quite a minute. But back in the day, like, back when Corey was a D-Gen and he was a Mystic player, like, reading the heat Corey would get in that chat, and just the hatred, and obviously, like, I felt like I was on, like, playing devil's advocate because I'm one of Corey's friends, and I would tell him, like, Corey, man, they fucking hate you right now. And he's like, yeah, what do they do? And I'm like, oh, man, it's just funny to read. And every now and then I'd just, like, tell him, I'm like, yeah, this player is out to get you. And he's like, bring it, bitch. Like, I don't care. And it was fun because you had these fun rivals. And then, like, when Teresa was on the show, she even, like, pointed out, like, yeah, Corey's my rival, but at the same time, like, I could respect him as a player because I knew he was present. I knew he was doing these things. Because we'd obviously have our issues with spoofing players where they would be taking gyms, and that's obviously kind of like one of those, like, why would you spoof and take a gym? Just go and take it. That's the whole point. But, like, spoofing for specific zone control was pretty frowned upon for that. And that was one of the things, like, Teresa and them would go out of their way for, is, like, finding those spoofers and reporting them who were knowingly doing that to get gym control. Like, yeah, that's some shady shit. You're doing that, knocking people out of gyms, and you're nowhere nearby in the comfort of your home. But again, having those fun rivals is what got people out of their beds. Hearing, like, oh, Murph took that gym over there, and they're like, that's my gym. We all know that's not physically their gym, but they took pride in, like, maintaining their area and jumping out there and finding something to spark, again, that challenge would be good in this game. And that's where having all the teams and tribes and whatever would be really cool, and finding a way to give them perks. Like, hey, if your local team gets X number, whatever, your team will be acknowledged by upper management things.
Or being able to hop into the gym while somebody's taking it and fight back.
Yes!
That'd be badass.
Yes.
Can you imagine? It's so easy to take down gyms, but can you imagine trying to take down a Blissey and all of a sudden it starts dodging you?
Like, bitch, get back here, you son of a bitch.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you had more gym interaction with our gym rework concept we've been discussing here, you could battle. You could actively defend your gym, other than here's a fucking berry, you fat fuck. Like, you know, like. There's I think it'd be a lot more fun.
The active gym holders could then like get a notification like your gym's being taken. Do you want to fight back? Question mark, and you're like, yes.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It takes you right there, and it's like dun, dun, dun,
you're in a meeting, and you're just like, what the fuck is Jack doing over there?
It's like Jack is defending his fucking turf right now. That's what he's doing.
Dude, I would totally get back into gymming if that was the situation. If you could do that.
Yeah, I definitely, because very much like Teresa said, she's like, what's the point of gymming when you could spend a few bucks and get more coins than what the gyms could give you in a month?
Yeah.
And I'm like, valid, and we're big kids.
50 cents to get your daily coins.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I'll gladly drop $30 to give mine in one day and just call it good, because then I want to do other shit.
Yeah.
Because holding down gyms was a task, but if you could do it satellite, just like how you could battle your best friends wherever the fuck they are.
You should be able to trade your best friends anywhere.
Yeah. Oh. There's so much.
I hate that shit. So Jack, we can trade, but I'm downtown.
Yeah.
And you're in New Mexico.
Yeah, I'm like, can't do it. Bye. Wait till I get back. It's just one of those things, and that's where, like, people who have the ability to do that, I just don't see why you have it for battling, why not for trades? Yeah. If you get to Ultra Friends, you should be able to trade anywhere you are.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely absurd that you can't. And obviously trading costs, that's again another ridiculousness.
Or
it should just be a fraction of it, a tenth of what it is.
Or you add another 0 to every place you can get Stardust from.
Yeah, I was gonna say
if they added zeros.
I understand the million Stardust thing. At least.
Add zeros to everything.
I could see that, but like I want to be able to actually get Stardust. And
right.
like if I'm on a raid grind, I'll see my Stardust go up and I'll feel pretty good about that. But
see, I think for the cost, it shouldn't then the IV swing shouldn't be as bad as it is.
Right.
Oh, for the trade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, if you're gonna charge me $1 million, then I think the IV should say
at least
should only deviate
within
10. Yeah. Within 10 IV of what the original
it should be like a fucking lucky trade. Like, it should be a usable Pokemon.
Or
for
purification.
$1 million? Yeah. Because I still remember when people traded their Mewtwo's and they got fucked. And I'm like, I'm not going to do
I think I have like a 46 IV Shadow Ball Mewtwo or something terrible.
Something you're never ever going to use. And then it just sucks. So I think that's where, if they're going to keep the cost, they should adjust and make other tweaks if they want to keep it that way.
Like I said, I don't mind. I can see that. I do think the other trade costs should be reduced. Or, if you are in those events like Pogo Fest, that you should be able to get like certain benefits to being at that area and trading.
Yeah. Trading with a fellow registered event player.
Yeah, exactly.
They should be able to acknowledge, he has a Saturday pass too.
Yeah.
They're clearly in the same area.
Make that pass worth it.
Do
worth
that
more.
trade.
I mean, it's already pretty cheap, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, like, if you can get those kind of benefits and keep it that cheap, that'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. Like, they could have some of the best events possible, and people would love him if they just opened up some of those other avenues. So.
Right on. Well, you got anything else you wanted to add to this?
List? This wish list of Niantic?
Yeah.
Like I said, Pokemon costumes for Halloween. Make it something real. You guys could make so much more money in game if you just offered a few Pokemon.
If you can give Pikachu and Eevee flower crowns and shit, you can give
random
shit to other Pokemon.
Yeah. If I can make Nidoking an actual king and give him a crown and a cape, I would do it.
A cape and money to keep.
I would do it.
Yeah, Niantic, I know we've been talking a lot of shit on you, but look at it this way. There's a lot of room for improvement here.
Hey, you've got
just
a great
do better,
product.
man.
Make it better.
Do better.
Yeah, you guys are getting a lot of free ideas here. Like, if we see these ideas come out, I'd be just super happy that you heard. Honestly, like, I wouldn't come back for you. Like, give me money? No.
All right.
Just give us cool stuff.
Well, anything else?
That's
Good?
It. That's it.
That's it. That's
Thank
right.
you.
Murphdivers out!
Bye.